power that we all have to choose what to buy and maybe more importantly, what not to buy is greater than those in power apparently thought, because the boycotts against companies that go against our political values, our ideology, they've been growing ever since the election. And now the numbers are rolling in that they've actually cost some of these companies quite a bit. And so last month we talked about the beginning of this. Polling was going around that people were choosing where to shop based on politics more than before. And I called this a hashtag go anti-woke, go broke. And it is really looking like that is the case. And so Forbes has updates on a couple of these companies. We're gonna talk about Target and Tesla. So Target has been in the news a lot ever since January because they're one of the companies that once Donald Trump was coming in and he was like, no DEI, you can't do DEI or we'll nuke you from orbit. They were like, okay, no DEI. So they changed their DEI policy and practices around supplier diversity, which they renamed supplier engagement. And they did a decision to sunset their racial equity action and change initiative. So both of these shifts signaled that it would be changing its investment and priority and diversity efforts, which the company had been vocal about in the past. They used to advertise it a ton, particularly around black-owned businesses where it committed to $2 billion in spend. So soon afterward, after they backed off of all of this because of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, a new movement began growing on social media calling for an economic blackout day on February 28th against Target. On that day, their website traffic was down 9% compared with the same period last year. From there, LatinoFreeze.com came to light, bringing a similar message to their cultural community. According to data from Placer.ai, for the week the boycott started, foot traffic fell 6.8% year over year at Target stores. Now, bear in mind, there are other potential influences on this. Concerns about the economy, inflation, all of that stuff. But the timing, I think, was around these high profile boycotts. So multiple things can be contributing. But the end result is that Target's stock price is down 24% from 137 on January 24th, the day that Target cut its programs, to $104.7 per share on March 15th. So that's only a couple of months and they've lost a quarter. That's a lot in a short period of time. Within that time frame, the stock is down 10% from when the 40-day kickoff began on March 5th, accelerating an ongoing downward trend in its stock price since late 2024. And so that's Target, which has been in the news a lot. Maybe more so recently, Tesla. As you know, their share price is down 40% since December, with more than $500 billion being wiped off the company value. And so that's the stock. We know that sales are down in the US. Sales are down even more internationally in Europe and in China as well. And so that's probably not good for the company too. And the reaction there, I think we're seeing more in how the elites are freaking out that Donald Trump is doing his little ad for Tesla on the White House lawn. Howard Lutnick is going on Fox News, be like, no, you gotta buy their stock and everything. And now they're trying to imply that you're breaking the law by boycotting Tesla. So they clearly are worried about this. And again, it's a reminder that choosing where to spend your money can send a strong signal. But Brett, what do you make of this?
It's so ironic that their name is Target. I'm not against the renaming of it to supplier engagement. I think that's going to be the key to a lot of keeping the initiatives, is just calling them other stuff. So I'm not mad at that. Mike, it's a supply and demand business you're in, buddies. So people are going to make decisions based on where their politics lie, because that's like a really cool new thing we get to do since all of our lives revolve around like political opinions. It's not just like going to the movies. It's not just going to buy like a Slurpee or a tasteful furnishing from Chip and JoJo on HGTV in the Magnolia section.
Which is a big section now.
It's most of the store in one way or another, but it's a shiplap central. But I don't know. With this, like I personally am against diversity, equity, inclusion because I'm white and already included. And I don't like equity because me personally, I've come from a privileged background, so I don't want other people. Like, why would I want other people to have an opportunity? They're not me.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to have all the good things and other people not have that. Like, if I am in a room and there's enough people there, why would I leave the door open? I want like my personal space. I like it warm. I'm not going to leave the door open. I'm going to shut it. I'm going to lock it behind me. The thing about Target, like if I'm devil's advocating with like hiring practices, like there's a lot of poor people need to work at Target. The buying of finding responsible and inclusive vendors is like an undeniably fine thing, in my opinion, even with all the cynicism and satire I put on the first half of this answer. Like that one, I can't actually find a thing about like what's wrong with, well, at the expense of a white owned like corporation that's big enough to stock the shelves of Target. Like these are not the little guys that are suffering in this negotiation. Like if you know how these at Walmart, here's how the shelves work, right? They say, all right, everyone in the world, can you make me a widget for 50 cents? And they're like, yes. It's like, all right, of you guys, who can make it for 20 cents? And then once you're in charge of that, if you prove that, you can go find other people to help me stock this shelf for way less money than you could probably survive on. But in order to survive on that, you need to be a big enough corporation. So already if you're supplying Target with stuff, you're probably not the little guy. So like, I feel like going to a black owned business that is the big guy versus a white owned business that's the big guy. Like, why not just like vary it a little bit? I don't know.
Right. Maybe for the next round they'll consider that. But in any event, we are seeing some early returns on those protests. We'll see, particularly like the long-term outlook for Tesla. I think is going to be fascinating because I don't think we've ever seen the CEO of a company do more, seemingly almost intentionally, to destroy the reputation of their brand. It's going to be interesting to see what the next year looks like for that. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week with Francesca Fiorentini, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.